Hello and Happy New Year. Welcome back to The Sharpest Teeth. I'm Saturn. I am a tarot reader of over 15 years, and I am here to give you a slightly belated New Year's reading. But first, I just would like to say thank you and say a little prayer to our ancestors, and thank them for getting us here all the way to 2025 with all of our faculties, or most of our faculties, intact. And I would like to ask for their help in getting us through the next year. Because I'm sure that they know something we don't know. And I'm sure that that knowledge will be helpful come the next 12 months. I have a candle going. My office is kind of a mess right now. I had a busier holiday season than I was expecting. I'm much more tired lately than usual, and I'm feeling very peaceful. And I'm grateful for the turning of the wheel and the collective resetting. I love a good collective reset. I find it to be very refreshing and helpful. And I hope that you all have found that as well and had a happy New Year celebration and are coming into this month of January with some new resolve to work toward your goals. And I am curious about what the next 12 months will look like. So usually for a year ahead spread, I just do one card per month, but I don't think that I'm going to do that this time around. I think I will do a couple cards. First, I'm going to do kind of like an overview. We have Temperance in reverse, just flipped up here for me. Let's see, there we go. There's Temperance in reverse. So they are guiding us through, and then speaking of me being tired, we got the Ten of Swords there, waiting for it to focus in. Maybe I'll have my face and it'll focus. There you go. There it is. So I'm getting the feeling that many of us have spent the time working on recuperation and doing a bit of doom scrolling. It's quite possible that some of us have been doom scrolling. I know that is a pastime of my own. Not my favorite pastime, but it is truly. We also have the Queen of Cups and the Eight of Swords came up. Let's see. This is a new camera, so working on hello. There we go. And the Page of Wands. We're getting used to it. Okay, so fun. Okay. I believe that this is a time of self-reflection and also kind of turning a blind eye to the truths that we are learning about ourselves. I also see that we can't really keep our eyes turned away from that truth. I believe that the truth is being revealed to us, and it could be exhausting. That could be why we are needing to take rest and kind of dissociate a little bit during this time. And I think that, like, moving forward, we will take ownership of that truth. And I believe that we will have to get a little creative around it and learn how to work with that balance. Some of us might be going through transition, whether that is metaphorical or literal, and kind of learning how to balance and where the balance lies internally and externally of the different, like, feminine and masculine energies and androgynous energies, like, inside of us, and like how we express that and present that into the world. This might be a big year for us. For us, gender queer, gender expansive folk, there's so much oppression, there's so much suppression of us right now, and that is, like, becoming more in the public eye. And I believe that while it is exhausting and crushing, it also gives us a new resolve to really live our truth and embody that, and, like, understand that, like, the way that we have been approaching it might need to change. I think, like, we're kind of taking on a new direction with this. So that is kind of an overview, and apply it wherever it makes sense. I know not all of us are trans, but many of us are. And, like, the way that we embody our values and our genders and our ancestors and our life, like, the way that we show up in the world is unique to all of us. And, like, that type of rebellion, because I really do believe it is rebellious to be your authentic self, is coming to the forefront, right? We are no longer able to deny these parts of ourselves that we have denied, and we are going to be learning a lot about how we approach things emotionally and how we kind of shut ourselves down emotionally. And I just know, like, it's not going to be working anymore. It's not going to work anymore for us to do it that way. We are going to have to find a new way to cope and to exist. We are going to find some strength in that, and it will be exhausting. And I think the key here is the embracing of the new ways and getting ourselves offline a little bit, right? And connecting with people in person and really showing up and doing the things that are in alignment with our values, our morals, our beliefs. And we're kind of going to have to double down on that, and we're going to have to show up for ourselves, because we can't show up for each other if we're not showing up for ourselves. And, like, kind of vice versa, right? Like, we also can't really show up for ourselves if we're not showing up for others as well. Okay. So there's that. And then I'm just going to put these aside. And then we're going to do January. I feel like I should get more decks. Okay, we're going to do, this is January. It goes this way. I do have my Enchanted Map Oracle, and I'm using the Modern Witch Tarot deck by Lisa Sturl currently. Okay, this is also January, or is this February? I know my months. Oh, okay. March. We have the Lovers for March. It came in upright, so April. I'm just gonna do two. I'm gonna do one from the Oracle deck and one from the Tarot deck. Or two, if it comes up that way. May. Okay. Maybe I should do this part beforehand, do you think? Or do you enjoy watching me pull the cards? I don't know. I think the higher resolution camera is a little bit daunting to me. I think I'm a little bit more self-conscious than I am usually. You can really see me now, you know? And I also kind of had this feeling that I was hiding from you all a little bit. And I'm going to try not to do that. I think like my resolution for this particular channel is to not hide so much. We have Peaks of Joy, but it kind of came up in reverse. Peaks of Joy in reverse, as I was talking about hiding. And the Wheel of Fortune. But this was reversed. Okay. So, as one can imagine, the Wheel of Fortune is about kind of like going around and around, right? Sometimes you're on top, and sometimes not so much. Life is switchy that way. And it seems to me that right now, we're kind of oscillating between the two. I think January will be this kind of going against the grain and really fighting to experience more joy. And I don't think it's going to be easy for a lot of us. I think like this month is going to be pretty difficult. And the key to that is not so much trying so hard, you know, not trying so hard to experience joy, like really allowing ourselves to grieve and allowing ourselves to be crushed by that wheel right now, like be on the bottom, so to speak, and like be in this receptive, restful, like really in our emotions. And that's not to say that we like are allowing ourselves to be overtaken by what we're feeling, but rather we are allowing ourselves to feel what we are feeling instead of trying to suppress these negative, so-called negative emotions. We are like really riding the wave of that wheel and like knowing that it does turn, and that emotions don't last forever. And in the moment, it might seem like that, but all we can do really is allow ourselves to feel that grief and feel those feelings, because otherwise we won't actually be able to experience as much joy as we have the capacity for. So that's January. Makes sense to me. What with the inauguration going on. Oh my gosh. Okay, these are all... This is reversed as well. We have the wishing well for February. Wishing well in reverse for February. And the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. I think that this kind of goes with what I was saying before, with like, there's this vibe of like forcing it, you know? One second. I need a sip. With manifestation, which I think is something that many of us are focused on for this year, and like this turning of the wheel, there is a big focus on getting back into manifesting what we want for ourselves. And with this, it is reciprocal. And again, we cannot force ourselves. We cannot force the universe's hand. And the trying so hard, right? I believe that this is a year of not trying so hard, okay? And I believe that in that we will actually gain a lot more than we were expecting or going after. I think like we need to treat ourselves with ease. I think that we can't be hard on our bodies. I think that our bodies are things beyond our control to a certain extent, right? We can take care of ourselves as best we can. We can exercise, we can eat well, we can get enough rest. And at the end of the day, we are not in control of our health. And I think a lot of people don't want to hear that. They don't want to believe that, right? A lot of us really collectively believe that we are in control of our health and of our bodies, and it's just not true. We can, to a certain extent, right? We can influence our bodies in multitudes of different ways, but we are not in control of how our bodies are doing their thing, right? So, yeah. There is a bit of that, and there is a bit of despair here, this like, oh, I wish this, I wish that, and not being in the present moment. So I think for February and in general, like the practice of meditation, I wasn't going to say that, but that's what I said. The practice of gratitude of what you already have, what is working for you, that is how manifestation really works. That is how the universe becomes more receptive to your requests, right? Like, you know, if it were me, if I were the universe, okay, I would not want to give more things to someone who seems ungrateful or unreceptive to the gifts that I have already given them, right? But when we are grateful for the gifts that we have, when we are treating ourselves right, when we are accepting of the present moment, which is all that we are given and all that we will ever have, and we treat our current homes, our current bodies, our current vehicles, our current family, our current friends, our current romantic interests, if we treat our life with love and respect, then that shows that we love and respect life, and like any gifts that we are given are safe with us, right? So there's that. So be careful. Be aware of when you are feeling ungrateful and when you are wishing that things were a different way. Because while we can change things and we can be revolutionary in our personal lives and with each other and in our communities, there is no revolution without a foundation of truth. And in order to know what that truth is, we have to accept like what is happening currently. We cannot have a revolution, whether personally or socially, off a foundation of not accepting things the way they are currently, if that makes sense. I know like there is this spark of like, okay, no, like this, I cannot and I will not accept this, and therefore I am going to change it. And in order to like be at that place, you have to counterintuitively be in a place of acceptance that this is the way that it is and that it needs to be changed. So that's February. Dang, okay. And we got March. We know that it's the Lovers because it really popped up, and I think it really wanted to show us. And that the Lovers, oh yes, and we have the Bone Collector. God, I love her. Okay. The Lovers are about forging that new path, right? The Lovers are about, okay, we know how it is, quote unquote, supposed to be. We know what we've been told. We know what tradition looks like. And we've decided that we're going to go start our own tradition. We're going to go start something completely new and figure it out for ourselves, right? And the Bone Collector is about like wisdom and really embodying the nature that we are, because we are nature. And it's about really being in tune with all cycles of life and of the earth and of time, and knowing that like we are just one piece in the large tapestry of the universe, right? And while that is small, it is powerful, right? Because one thread can unravel the whole tapestry. So while we may just be one thread, like together, that is beautiful. And singularly, that is powerful. We need each other. We need to know where we come from. I think there's like this really tapping into our roots and being in contact with our ancestors and meditation. We got there. And travel. And like she's in this desert, which is really cool. So some of us may be visiting the desert, which is really a powerful landscape, I believe. And the Lovers are Gemini as well. And I think for me, that's bringing up like holding the duality of things and understanding that we need multiple perspectives and multiple ways of doing things. And sometimes it's a bunch of us doing things different ways, and sometimes it's us ourselves doing things different ways. Like, and, you know, not putting ourselves in this box of like, okay, this is how things are done. This is how I've always done things. This is how I view things. This is the way that I want things to look, and I have to do it this exact way because that's the way that I've always done it, and that's the way that like I believe it should be done. Like exploring the duality of ourselves and exploring the possibilities of being in contradiction and like holding contradiction. So there's that. That's March. April. Ooh, okay. We got 3 in April. Okay. We have follow the leader. We have storm fields. Come on. There it is. And Wizard of Awareness. So I like we have follow the leader and we have storm fields, and they have the similar layout there of the road going to the tree or a home. I'm getting a little bit of like, okay, like if we are following the leader, in this instance, it is not the path that we think we are going down, and truly it is a path of stormy weather, and we are in for some rough rides ahead. Okay. I think that like while many of us are going off in our own direction and finding out what works for us, I think that like a large portion of us is doing the same in a different way, right? Like following the leader type of way. Like we may be having a leader come into power who doesn't know what the fuck they are doing and who is leading several people astray into what is some type of chaos, okay? And then we have the Wizard of Awareness here, as well as the Ten of Wands. And like we have the Wizard has the staff, and then we have the Ten of Wands also. So there is this kind of like, okay, we are almost there. We just have to push through it. I mean, this could be... I don't want to make huge freaking predictions here. But this could be some type of civil unrest here. And whichever direction that goes, it could go so many directions. In fact, I think it will go so many directions. And I think like being aware is one thing, but I don't think that it will necessarily help. If you know what I'm saying. I think that it will feel like carrying a heavy burden for those of us who are in this intuitive practice, those of us who are highly empathic and who are tuned into the feelings of like everybody and ourselves and the like what's going on energetically. I think that it's going to be not fun, is my truth. I don't think it's going to be fun for so many of us. And I think this is kind of in April where it starts to pop off a little bit. And we are going to need to ask for help. The Ten of Wands is about asking for help and knowing that you don't actually need to do it all on your own and that you're almost to the end. You're almost there to your destination. You just need to cross this road. and you might need to ask for a hand, because you don't need to hold it all on you. You know, like therapists need therapists and spiritual workers need spiritual workers, okay? So we will want to show up for each other in the ways that we know how. And hopefully with like the previous months, we have and are building that community so that we know who to go to get help, and we know who needs help, and we've made those connections. Yeah, because I just think it's going to get us into trouble. The stuff that is happening with other people. Oh, okay. And then in May, we have rescue. So we get the help that we asked for. And we have 2 of Swords. So we are receiving the help that we asked for, though some of us might not see it. Some of us might be offering help to people who are unwilling to admit that they need help, and some of us will be on the other side of that. Being open and receptive to other people's ideas, and not being afraid to make a decision. I think like some of us will be considering something and will have sat on it for a long time. This could be kind of throwing back to the transition theme that we had. This could be making a decision to go forward with your transition in life, whatever that looks like for you. And it could look like, you know, people coming. Look, we have a little gay little rainbow there. Okay, we got a gay little rainbow. It could be people coming to your rescue, right? And like saying like, here, look, there is an option, there is a choice that you can make, and you can make this choice now if you so choose. And then there's this just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready. And that's okay. I think that the thing with transition and initiations is that we never know that we're ready, or when we're ready, or if we're ready, until we are doing the thing that we are not sure if we're ready for, right? So there's that. May. So we're halfway through the year, and there's a decision to be made. And whew, I love that. Okay. June. Oh, we have the moon and solitude. So the moon is about moving away from like toxic abusive patterns. It's about making your way to that gateway and like to that transition, the transitionary space, right? And going kind of like beyond what we knew, and the almost like toxic cycle of being in the same kind of pattern of what we knew, right? It's about like release your inhibitions, okay? Feel the rain on your skin, babe. All right. And the solitude, I think, is going to be necessary for this transition. I think that like this is something that you need to do not on your own, but it's a decision that you need to make for yourself. And I think that during this time, you might lose relationships. That's normal when we go through different periods in our lives. You might lose friendships. You might gain friendships. But either way, you're going to need to be spending some time alone, whether by necessity through like recovery periods or voluntarily, right? And just needing to like process and really go into that transformation. June is Pride Month, by the way. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And there's a moon in both of these. There's a moon in the solitude one as well. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a dark night of the soul per se, but it is a time of like shedding, more or less, these aspects of you that like are kind of hidden during the day, if this makes sense. That sentence didn't make sense, but the vibe is there. You get it. You understand the vibe. Okay. Oh my god. I've been talking for a long time. And then July, we have the Knight of Swords in reverse. We are ready to fight. We are so ready to stand up for what we believe in. We've done this integration process. We have commitment and compass. And I'm holding them upside down, but I feel like they could be both. Okay? I think that, like, this is... Okay. I've made my decision, and these are all... What would you say if these are all reverse? Right? It's this, I made my decision, and I know what direction I'm going, and I'm fully committed, and I'm almost seeing this, like, it's kind of like just bulling forward without actually thinking about it or like knowing, you know. I think there is this like, okay, I didn't know if I was ready before, but then I did it and now I'm ready and like let's go, and just like kind of reckless. There's this reckless energy about it, right? Like I'm not actually checking my compass before I move forward in this commitment that I've made. So I would be careful with that, you know. I would be aware of that. I would make sure that, like, these new people that you're spending time with are, in fact, chill and trustworthy. I would make sure that you are checking in with people who you do already trust and have established relationships with, and aren't just making these decisions out of a new sense of self and sense of being. And I think this could be also like a time of like hookups for some of you, I think, and that's cool. That's like good for you. But I think like for some of you, this might be a time of like witty banter and like kind of practicing flirting as you're like kind of embodying your new self and you're learning what that feels like. And this could be like you're kind of figuring things out and you're like trying a bunch of different things. It could be fun. I think it will be fun. I think it will also be disorienting. And I think that sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need to explore a little bit to understand what we actually want and what we're actually committed to. This could be a breaking of a commitment for some of you, and this could be making a new commitment to that particular type of chaos. Okay? So, August. Oh, okay. Let's do this one. Magic Prayers. It was in reverse, but I will show you upright. And Strength. Again, we're kind of coming back to this lesson of I need to show up for myself. I need to show up with authenticity. I need to show up how I want my life to look right now. You know, I need to show up right now in the way that I want my life to look in the future. That is like the whole vibe. That is like the whole lesson that keeps coming back over and over again. Strength, I believe, is really having learned the lessons and like knowing that this is actually something that you've gone through before, whether it's not this exact transition necessarily, but like this is a cycle that has come through in your life before. Like we've done this before. We know what this looks like actually, and I know that I can, you know, embody that Leo, right? August is Leo season. Strength is the Leo card. We can like embody that sunshine within us. We can embody seems to be the word of the day, okay? We can be strong for ourselves and for each other. We can like tame that beast and like not necessarily tame it, right? But like make friends with it. We get to make friends with the beast within us, and we get to celebrate that for ourselves. And then the magic prayer being in reverse is just kind of like, okay, maybe, you know, when you got what you asked for, or when your prayers are answered, and then you're like, oh, yeah, maybe this was not it. That might be the vibe a little bit, right? Like, okay, maybe these prayers were not exactly like I thought I knew what was best for me, but I forgot that I'm in co-creation with the universe, and actually I need to let go, and that the universe actually kind of knows what's best for me. We all do this, right? There is this theme of taking back control and trying to control and like force manifestations into the world, and like really kind of strong arm our will be done. And we forget it's just what we do as humans. We want things to go our way, and we forget that we don't actually know everything, or how everything will turn out, or like that it will turn out for the best. We sometimes think that we know that is what's best for us, but we don't actually. Thank God, because like I don't want to know exactly what's going to be happening or what's going on, right? This is all just vibes. Okay, so we have September. We have the Emperor for September. And this one is the one that wants to come together. Okay. I wouldn't mind coming together with the Emperor. Okay. We are embodying our divine masculine, okay? And like this is energy that is very real. I used to think, I'm gonna go on a tangent a little bit, okay? I used to be like, oh, I don't want to use words like divine feminine or divine masculine because that's so binary. But then there's also like we have temperance on the board here, and temperance is the embodiment of divine androgyny. And gender is a made-up construct, but so is everything else in the world, right? And for many of us, it's very real. It's very real. And if it weren't very real, even if we can't explain exactly what it is, if we weren't experiencing it, then it wouldn't mean so much to so many of us, right? So, that being said, we are embodying our divine masculine, and what that is for me with the Emperor and like Aries and Mars being action. Like Mars is masculine, it's action, and it is our bodies, it is like getting physical, getting jiggy with it, okay? It is very much like power is the word that is coming through. And it's not that like, oh, masculine is like powerful and feminine is like receptive and passive, right? Because feminine is also very powerful. I just don't want to get it twisted, okay? I don't want you to get it twisted, because there is divine feminine in divine masculine and vice versa. It's not, they are two sides of the same coin, okay? So the Emperor and Come Together is, I feel, this integration of self. And for some of us, this could be transition. Like, I keep saying it. But maybe it's just me. Who knows? So we have this power, and it's really like coming into yourself and really embodying your power and being like, okay, I went through all of this. I asked for help, and I made this decision, and I moved on from these self-sabotaging behaviors, and I got a little messy with it so that I could like play and have fun and figure things out on my own. And I really feel that like I've learned a lesson here, and like I know what the fuck I am about, right? And there is a reconciliation of whatever you thought you were leaving behind kind of coming to light, that like it's more about you than it is about anyone else. And so there may be some kind of like amends being made between you and another person or a group of people. Excuse me. Okay. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'm going to keep on powering through this, because I wasn't really expecting to do this for an hour. I'm happy to be doing it. Oh God. Okay. What? Okay. Spirit of Place and Five of Wands. Spirit of Place was in reverse, but I don't know. It kind of fell out at an angle. So, Spirit of Place and Five of Wands. So, at this, you know what you're dealing with. You know who you are. You're feeling like in alignment with your guides and your ancestors and like your past selves, and everything is kind of like coming together. And there's still this kind of like struggle happening internally and externally. I think that like once we like go through this initiation process and this transition, and then we are like embodying ourselves fully and like our light is shining, there is this attraction that happens, and people want our attention. People want access to us when we are visibly, palpably, fully ourselves. And that can be really difficult, okay? So just, you are warned. You are forewarned, okay? It's not a bad thing. We have unexpected visitors as well. These fell to the ground. Home. Talisman. And Strength in reverse. Okay. So, what I'm seeing here is a reintegration into your home life, a reintegration into your spiritual practices, whatever that may be. Fairy is also coming through here. I think some of these unexpected visitors you may have will be spiritual in nature. I think that they will be energies coming in and like blessings in the way of blessings, because again, like with that attraction, it's not just people who get attracted to us, okay? It's energies as well. And especially if we've done a huge cleansing and we're working like both that light and shadow, then we like kind of embody this cool gray area, this cool gray zone, this cool androgynous self energy, okay? And that's intriguing. That is intriguing, okay? We like that. People and spirits and things are interested in that, okay? And I want to say, okay, with the talisman, like, I really think that, like, this October will be this settling in, okay? It'll be this, like, oh, okay, you know, I feel like I'm here. I feel like I've arrived. And there is this magic about you, and like really learning how to work with what you have. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And it's going to be busy. It's going to be a busy time. People are going to be wanting your attention. You're going to have to learn how to say no. Hopefully you already know how to say it. And like for me, you will also have to learn how to say yes. Because if you don't know how to say yes, you don't fucking know how to say no, okay? That is what we're learning here. Seems like it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but 5 of Pentacles in reverse for November. This is like, maybe you said no a little bit too much, okay? Feeling like, oh, maybe I should have spent more time with these people. We have slow and steady and magic stream in reverse. Okay. Things are slowing down in November. I think this is going to be like a really busy, full, active year. And things are going to go really quickly, kind of like come the spring through the summer. And then it's going to kind of like come to a beautiful fruition of this beautiful bloom in October, in the fall. And then it's going to start to wilt a little bit, okay? And that's just like the kind of natural cycle of the year, right? I think this is going to be a time where the depression will be coming back. Okay, it will have been a year since the election. This brings up things for everybody. And you have a place to be, and you know that because we've just gone through this whole thing, right? And there could be a bit of questioning whether this really is the place. Because we are indoctrinated into this way of thinking that everything has to be go, 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 hustle, 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 building, 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 production, all of the time. And that's just not how things work. We know that's not how things work, okay? We know that there is the cycle. We know that the wheel of fortune goes up and down and around, and we can't just always be on top all the time. That's exhausting, okay? So come November, it will be a time of rest. And it will be kind of a time of like, hold on, things were flowing and now it feels like they're not flowing as much, okay? That is integration. That's normal. That is a part of the flow, okay? That is a part of the practice. We need to rest. We need to stop sometimes, okay? And while at times we were forcing it and we learned how to not force it, and go with the flow, sometimes like that flow is just not flowing. And that's when we get into that pattern of forcing it, right? That's when we start to be like, wait, okay, something's wrong. Nothing is wrong, babe. Nothing is wrong. You don't need to force things into fruition. You don't need to force this manifestation because it will happen. And so this is just another piece of the learning puzzle. Okay, we are at 55 minutes. Gonna do December. We have King of Wands and education in reverse. It's almost like we forgot. We do that as humans. We forget. We learn lessons and then we have to learn them all over again, okay? This King of Wands met with the education in reverse is so much that. It's so much that. It's like, oh, okay, well, I could do this because I've done this, so I'll just do it. And it's like, right, but who were you doing it with? What were the vibes? What was the energy? What was the environment that you were in? How was the universe responding to you? And yeah, it's that hubris. We do be getting that hubris though. Okay. And Sagittarius season as well. King of Wands is fire sign energy. And we do kind of want to like explore a little bit more. We want to get a little creative. We want to have fun. And I also think that for me personally, I'm just going to bring in my story with this. This last holiday season, this last winter, these last few weeks have been so busy for me. And I've learned from that what I desire and how I want to go about socializing. Okay. So this could be a part of that as well. This could be a belief that the lessons of last year apply to this year. And sometimes they do, and sometimes they do not, right? Because we changed. We have changed significantly throughout this year. And I'm talking future us, okay? Us at the end of 2025 has changed significantly from the us of currently, right now, 2025, okay? So, we're different, and therefore, the lessons that we learn, they're a little bit of a different flavor, and they're not always applicable because of that change that we go through. And that is the fun of it all, right? Is that we get to change, and everyone else gets to change, and the environments get to change, and our truth changes, and what we know changes, and what we know to be true changes. And therefore, we continue to learn. We are constantly adjusting to the world around us, to how we're changing, how the world around us is changing, okay? Our needs change. Our bodies change, right? Against our will, they will change. And that's it, really. Gosh, it was a rough start there, a little bit. So thank you for going on that journey with me, and let me know what you think. And if you want a personal reading, please feel free to reach out to me at thesharpestteeth@gmail.com, and we will set something up. Or if you know me personally, just reach out to me. So that's it. 2025. Thank you for your patience, as always. I love you. And yeah, we're gonna do great. It's gonna be great. Let me know what's going on with you for this new year in the comments. and how this is sitting for you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.